To whom it may concern. I'm Tychicus Ashby alongside George Conway and Henry Lopez. We have come together to talk about the topic of foster care in the past 20 years. Foster care has been an issue that needs to be addressed in the U.S. Problems like what is next after leaving foster care and what resources the government is providing for foster care recipients are some things our government needs to think more about.
According to the National Foster Youth Institute, 20% of people who left foster care are left homeless because they have no safety net or support system left. They are compelled by state regulations mandating departure upon reaching the age of 18. They find themselves obliged to leave the system.
I had nowhere else to go after foster care. So college was the only other option for me because there was no way that I would be able to. I'd never lived on my own before, never paid a real bill. Why would I go live in an apartment and have no idea what I'm doing?
Out of the 48 largest cities in the United States, Los Angeles and New York had the largest homeless populations by far.
As of 2023, 50% of the homeless population spent time in foster care. An estimated 20% of young adults who were in foster care become homeless the moment they become 18.
According to a paper from the University of Notre Dame, around 65% of foster children have an income under the poverty line at age 23. As of 2003, youths with foster care experience are more likely to be unemployed than their peers.
National studies estimate between 25 and 50% of people who leave foster care experience homelessness within 4 years.
In a sense, cancel out the whole purpose of having a foster care plan in place, which is to save children from detrimental situations. So it will be equally detrimental to send a child out into the world as a young adult when they're not prepared.
With such a large percentage, you wonder how successful the government is at attributing this transition period.
I think the government does provide a lot of support to foster care children, but I think they could be doing more. The fact that they are out at 18 seems to be an issue, and I'm not sure if foster care children are provided with a lot of resources that would prepare them to be on their own at 18.
According to the National Foster Youth Institute, recently emancipated young adults experience higher rates of substance abuse, mental illness, teen pregnancy, homelessness arrests. The statistics just don't end here.
According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, as of 2016, 75% of people who were in the foster care had been to prison at some point in their life. Studies conducted by the National Foster Youth Institute have shown that within 2 to 4 years of leaving foster care at age 18, 40% were homeless, 40% were receiving public assistance or were incarcerated, 40% experienced drug or alcohol abuse, 46% had not finished high school, 51% were unemployed, and 84% became parents.
Well, they're pretty grim results, but they're not entirely unexpected. And yet, for the states, we as parents, when we take kids away from their families, we become their legal parents. And at age 18, we discharge our responsibilities, often no place to live. It's not surprising that they don't finish high school and they end up in trouble.
AIDS are known to be hidden from foster care recipients, making it harder for them to live on their own.
I wasn't really told about much like leaving care. I found a lot of stuff out like years after I left care, which is fine because I got to use some of them, but again, there's like age caps on this stuff, so I didn't get to use all of what I could have if I'd known about it sooner. When I was in foster care as like a minor, I had no idea what I was gonna. I mean, I knew I was gonna go to college because that's what everybody said you're supposed to do after high school.
The lack of support given by the government causes kids in the system to be at a disadvantage. The National Foster Youth Institute says about 1 in 4 kids who age out of the system will not graduate from high school or be able to pass their GED.
Education can help lessen the higher rates of substance abuse, mental illness, and more. The National Foster Youth Institute states that there is less than a 3% chance for foster children to earn a college degree. The unemployment rate for those with a college degree is 4.2%, and for those without a high school diploma, it is 14.2%. This puts foster children at a disadvantage, and access to education can allow for an easier transition into adulthood.
The government has made strides by funding foster care programs, providing a place to stay instead of having to leave. This offers more aid and can decrease the amount of kids who are in poverty and awful situations.
I think foster care is a system that needs a lot of improvement in a lot of ways, but I would say something that our agency in particular here with the city of Alexandria really has a good focus on keeping children connected with families, and having to go into a stranger's home can be even more challenging.
This offers more aid and can decrease the amount of kids who are in poverty and awful situations.
The system is aware of the kids who are affected by this, so they make it a top priority to help them. The government tries its best to do what it can for the foster care system, but in reality, they aren't doing enough. And the people who live in foster need more housing, more food, and more opportunities coming straight out of the foster care system. We need to surpass the standards that are put toward the foster care system. We need to surpass the standards that were set 20 years ago.